The morning sun on planet Hanbit was not gentle. It came fast and hot, turning the purple sky orange in minutes. Minji Park wiped sweat from her face as she checked the hydroponic tanks behind her small house. The green plants inside were growing well, but she knew the day would bring new problems. It always did on Hanbit. A loud roar came from the forest nearby. Something big was moving through the thick trees. Minji did not run. She had heard that sound many times before. It was just a thunder beast looking for water. These huge animals were dangerous, but they usually stayed away from humans if you knew how to act around them.
Minji, come quick.
Her younger sister Nara called from the medical center. Old man Seok hurt his arm again. Minji sighed and put down her tools. She walked through the dusty streets of New Busan, their small settlement home to about 300 people. The buildings were simple but strong, built to survive the terrible storms that came every few months. Each house had thick walls and a deep basement. The people here learned long ago that Hanbit did not forgive mistakes. Inside the medical center, Nara was cleaning a deep cut on Seok Jang's arm. The old farmer was tough, but even tough people got hurt on this world. What happened this time? Minji asked. Spiketail got into my garden, Seok said with a small smile. I had to teach it some manners. Mingi shook her head.
Asked.
Spiketails were fast lizards with poisonous claws. Most people would run from them, but COC had been on Hanbit for 40 years. He knew how to fight the local animals and win. You should be more careful, Nara said as she put medicine on the wound. You are not 20 years old anymore. None of us are getting younger, Seok replied, but we are getting smarter. That is how we stay alive here. After helping Nara finish with Seok, Mingi walked to the town center. Daeho Kim was there, talking with some of the other leaders. Daeho had been a soldier before coming to Hanbit. Now he kept their small community safe and organized. The crops looking, Daeho asked, when he saw Minji. Good, the new seeds are working well. Should have enough food for winter, she said. The water pumps need repair again. The dust storms last week damaged them. Yoon can help with that, Daeho said. He found some spare parts in the old mining station. Yoon Lee was Minji's best friend since childhood. He knew every dangerous animal and plant on Hanbit. If something was broken, Haein could usually fix it. If something was trying to eat you, Haein knew how to stop it. The day passed like most days on Hanbit. People worked hard, fixed things that broke, and watched out for each other. The planet tried to kill them in small ways every day. The air was thin and made breathing hard. The water had to be cleaned many times before it was safe to drink. Plants and animals were always trying to find ways into their homes, but the people of New Busan had learned to live with all of this. They knew which sounds meant danger and which meant safety. They knew how to read the weather and when to hide underground. They knew how to work together to survive. That evening, Mingi sat on her porch watching the sunset. The sky turned from orange to deep red to purple. In the distance, she could see the lights of other settlements scattered across the valley. Each one was a small group of humans doing their best to make a life on this difficult world. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to live on an easy planet? Nara asked, sitting down next to her. Sometimes Minji said, but I think we are. Stronger, because we live here. We know how to solve problems. We know how to survive. The old stories say Earth was dangerous too, Nara said. Maybe that is why humans can live anywhere. Minji nodded. Their grandparents had told them stories about Earth, about lions and tigers and bears, about storms and earthquakes and floods, about how humans had learned to be the strongest animal on their home world, not by being the biggest or fastest, but by being the smartest and most determined. I think those stories are true, Mingi said. We are not the strongest thing on Hanbit, but we are still here. Far above them, something was watching. In the black space between stars, metal ships moved quietly toward the planet. Inside these ships, creatures very different from humans were making plans. Commander Velth stood on the bridge of his ship, looking down at the small planet below. His scaled skin was blue-green, and his eyes were large and yellow. He had been fighting wars for many years, conquering worlds for the Therian Empire. The scans are complete, Commander, said one of his officers. The planet has about 50 1,000 humans in small settlements. Their technology is very basic. They use simple weapons and old machines. Any military forces? Velth asked. Nothing serious. Some settlements have small groups with basic weapons. They spend most of their time fighting the local animals. Velth looked at the reports on his screen. Humans looked weak and primitive. They lived in small groups, fighting animals with simple tools. Their buildings were rough and ugly. Their machines were old and patched together. This will be easy, he thought. These creatures can barely survive on their own world. They will not be able to fight us. Dr. Quinn, the ship's scientist, was also studying the humans. She found them interesting, but not dangerous. They were small and weak compared to most species in the galaxy. They had no natural weapons, like claws or fangs. They could not run very fast or jump very high. They are survivors, she noted in her report, but they are not fighters. They avoid conflict when possible and only fight when they must. They should accept our rule without much resistance. The Therian fleet prepared for landing. They had conquered many worlds before. Some species fought back, but they always lost in the end. The Therians had better weapons, better ships, and better training. These humans would be no different. On the planet below, Minji finished her evening work and went inside. She did not know that tomorrow would change everything. She did not know that the quiet life she had built was about to be tested in ways she could never imagine. But if she had known, she would not have been afraid. She was a human from a Deathworld. She was ready for anything. The stars above knew. Busan looked peaceful that night. But peace on Hanbit never lasted long. The people who lived there knew that the most dangerous things often came from the sky. The ships came down from the sky like falling stars. But these stars did not burn out. They landed in the field outside New Busan, with a sound like thunder. The ground shook and windows rattled in their frames. Minji was checking the water filters. When the ships arrived, she felt the vibration in the ground before she heard the sound. Living on Hanbit had taught her to notice when something was wrong. She ran to the window and saw 3 large metal ships sitting in the wheat field. Nara, she called to her sister. Get to the medical center. Lock the doors. What is happening? Nara asked, but she could see the fear in Minji's eyes. I don't know yet, but be ready for anything. All across New Busan, people were stopping their work and looking at the ships. Some were scared, others were curious, but everyone was alert. Life on Hanbit had taught them that new things were usually dangerous things. Daeho Kim was already at the town center, talking quickly on his radio. All settlement leaders, this is New Busan. We have unknown ships in our area. Report your status. Other voices came back over the radio. We see them too. 5 ships landed near South Ridge. They are everywhere. Jin Woo-yoon, the head of security, ran up to Daeho. I count about 30 figures coming out of the ships. They are wearing some kind of armor. They have weapons. Daeho nodded. Get everyone to the safe positions. Not panic positions, just ready positions. The people of New Busan moved quickly, but quietly. Children went to the school basement. Adults who could fight went to places where they could watch the strangers. Everyone else went to the strong buildings in the center of town. This was not the first time they had practiced this. Hanbit had many dangerous animals that sometimes attacked in groups. The people knew how to work together when danger came. The aliens walked toward the town in a straight line. They were tall and moved stiffly in their armor. Their weapons glowed with blue light. They did not try to hide or move carefully. They walked like they owned the place. Commander Velth led the group. Through his helmet, he could see the small buildings and the humans watching from windows. Everything looked just like the report said. Primitive, weak, scared. Remember he told his soldiers through their communication system? We are here to help these creatures. They cannot survive without our guidance. Be firm, but not cruel. Aliens stopped in the town center. Velth stepped forward and activated his translation device. When he spoke, his words came out in human language, but his voice sounded strange and electronic. Humans of this settlement, he said loudly. I am Commander Velth of the Therian Empire. We represent the galactic hegemony. We have come to bring you into our civilization. Deho walked out to meet them. He looked calm, but Minji could see, his hand resting on his weapon. Several other humans came with him, but they stayed back a little. Welcome to New Busan, Deho said politely. I am Deho Kim, the leader of this settlement. What do you need from us? Velth was surprised by the calm response. Most primitive species were either terrified or angry when first contact happened. These humans seemed almost ... ready. We need nothing from you, Velth said. We are here to give you something. Protection, technology, a place in the greater galaxy. But first, you must come with us to learn about your new lives. That is very kind, Deho said. But we like our lives here. We have worked hard to build this place. We would prefer to stay. The other aliens looked at each other. Dr. Quinn stepped forward. She was smaller than the soldiers, and her equipment was different. You do not understand, she said in a gentler voice. This world is dangerous. You are struggling to survive. We can give you safe homes on better worlds. You will not have to fight animals or worry about storms. We appreciate the offer, Deho said, but we choose to stay here. This is our home. Commander Velth was getting impatient. He'd conquered many worlds, and the process was always the same. Show strength. Give them a choice. When they chose wrong, show more strength. Eventually, they would understand. You do not have a choice, he said, his voice getting harder. The hegemony has decided. You will come with us. We will start with a few of you. The others can follow later. He pointed at several humans, including Nara, who had come out of the medical center. These ones will come with us now. They will learn about their new lives and tell the others. No, Deho said simply. They will not. Velth stared at him. You refuse? Yes. Then you will learn what happens when primitive species refuse the help of their betters. Velth gestured to his soldiers. Two of them moved toward Nara. Their weapons were not pointed at her, but they were ready. This was the moment when everything changed. The aliens expected the humans to be scared. They expected them to run, or cry, or beg. Instead, something else happened. Minji stepped out of the building, where she had been watching. She moved quietly, but not like she was hiding. She moved like she was hunting all around the town center. Other humans appeared. They came from doorways and windows and rooftops. They did not run toward the aliens. They did not run away. They just positioned themselves. Hyunli was on top of the grain storage building. Seoge Jang was by the water pumps. Jin Woo Yoon was at the corner of the main street. Dozens of others were in places the aliens had not even noticed. The aliens suddenly realized they were surrounded, but they were not worried. They had armor and energy weapons. These humans had simple rifles and farming tools. You cannot stop us, Velth said. Put down your weapons and surrender. You first, Mingi said quietly. The alien soldiers raised their weapons. Before they could fire, the humans did something unexpected. It disappeared. Not really disappeared, but they moved so fast and so smoothly that the aliens lost track of them. Suddenly, the town center was empty, except for the aliens. Where did they go? One soldier asked. They are hiding, Velth said. Search the buildings. Find them. But the aliens soon learned that finding humans on Hanbet was not easy. The buildings were connected by tunnels they had not seen. The streets had hidden passages built for the storm season. Every structure had multiple exits and places to hide. The humans knew every inch of their home. The aliens knew nothing. The first alien fell into a hole that had been covered with thin metal. The metal looked strong, but it was designed to break under the weight of heavy armor. The soldier fell 10 feet into a pit filled with the sharp spines of local plants. The second alien was hit by a rock slide that came from nowhere. Except it did not come from nowhere. It came from Hanley, who knew exactly which stones to move. To bring down the whole pile, the third alien simply vanished. One moment he was there, the next he was gone. His communication device went dead. His armor sensors showed nothing. It's impossible, Velth said. These are primitive creatures. Cannot fight us. But Dr. Quinn was starting to understand. She looked at her readings and felt cold fear in her chest. Commander, she said quietly. I think we made a mistake. What mistake? We assumed they were prey, but look at how they move. Look at how they work together. Look at how they use their environment. She paused, checking her data again. I think they are predators. And I think this is their hunting ground. In the shadows of New Busan, Minji smiled. The aliens were about to learn what humans really were. It was going to be a very hard lesson. Commander Velth called for help. More ships came down from the sky, bringing more soldiers and bigger weapons. They built a strong base in the field outside New Busan, with metal walls and guard towers. The aliens thought this would make them safe. They were wrong. Dr. Quinn worked day and night, studying the humans. What she found made her very worried. She called up files about human history and biology. The more she read, the more frightened she became. Commander, she said, showing him her data. We need to leave this planet. Now. What are you talking about? Velth asked. They are just primitives with simple weapons. No, they are not. Dr. Quinn pointed to her screen. Look at their evolution. Humans did not evolve to be prey. They evolved to be hunters. The most dangerous hunters in the galaxy. Impossible. Look at them. They are small and weak. They are not weak. They are efficient. Their home planet was full of creatures that could kill them easily, so they learned to kill first. They learned to work together. They learned to never give up. Velth looked at the data, but he did not believe it. We have better weapons. We have armor. We have technology they cannot understand. Technology breaks, Dr. Quinn said. Humans do not. While the aliens argued, Mingi was planning. She met with other leaders in the tunnels under New Busan. The tunnels were old. It's built for the storm season, but they worked perfectly for hiding from aliens. They brought more soldiers, reported Hangli. Maybe 200 now, and they have flying machines that watch the area. What about weapons? Asked Jin Woo-jun. Energy rifles, some kind of explosive devices. And their armor is very strong, Hyun said. But I noticed something. Their equipment does not like the dust here. It gets into their machines and makes them work badly. Minji nodded. This is Hanbit. The planet is on our side. Demon Park, Minji's cousin, had been studying the alien technology. He was good with machines, and he learned fast. Their ships use a power source I have never seen before, but I think I can build something to stop it. How long do you need? Minji asked. Give me 2 days, and I need some of their equipment. To study, we can get that, Minji said. She looked around at the others. Remember, we are not trying to destroy them. We are trying to make them leave. This is our home. We defend it. The next morning, the aliens sent out patrols to look for humans. They found tracks and signs, but no people. The humans seemed to vanish whenever the aliens got close. What the aliens did not know was that humans were everywhere. They were in the rocks. They were in the trees. They were underground. They watched every move the aliens made. Yurahan was in the old radio station, listening to alien communications. She had learned some of their language, and she heard things that made her smile. They are scared, she told Minji over the radio. They keep asking for more help. They are arguing with each other. Good, Minji said. Scared enemies make mistakes. The first big mistake came that afternoon. A group of 6 aliens went to search the old mining station. They thought it was empty, but Shanli was waiting there. Han knew every tunnel in the mine. He knew which supports were weak and which were strong. He knew where the water collected and where the ground was soft. The aliens entered the mine. With their lights and their weapons, they stayed close together, which was smart on most worlds. But not on Henba. Hit. Hein let them get deep into the mine. Then he started the landslide. It was not a big landslide. It's just enough to block the entrance. The aliens were trapped, but they were not hurt. They had air and water in their communication equipment, but they also had something else. They had the mine's original inhabitants. The rock crawlers had been sleeping in the deep tunnels. They were not big animals, about the size of a dog, but they had very hard shells and very sharp teeth. They did not like loud noises or bright lights. The aliens had both. The rock crawlers attacked the aliens, and the aliens fought back. But their energy weapons were too powerful for the small space. The blasts hit the mine walls and brought down more rocks. When the rescue team finally dug them out, 3 aliens were hurt, and all of them were shaken. They had learned that Hanbit was full of surprises. The humans planned this, one of them said. They knew about the creatures in the mine. Impossible, Velth said. How could they know we would go there? But Dr. Quinn was starting to understand. They know, because this is their world. They know every dangerous place and every dangerous creature, and they know how to use them. Next attack came at night. The aliens had good night vision equipment, but it did not help them. The humans did not attack the alien base. They attacked the alien ships. Temin Park had learned how to make the alien power sources stop working. He did not destroy them. He just made them sleep. The ships went dark, and their defenses stopped working. While the aliens rushed to fix their ships, other humans moved through the base like ghosts. They did not hurt anyone. They just took things. Equipment, weapons, communication devices. By morning, the aliens had lost half of their gear, and they still had not seen the humans who took it. This is not possible, Velth said. We have sensors everywhere. We have guards. How are they getting in? Maybe they are not getting in, Dr. Quinn said. Maybe they never left. She was right. Some humans had been in the base since the first day. They moved through the air ducts and the drainage pipes, hid in the supply rooms and the maintenance areas. The aliens had built their base, but they had not built it to keep out humans. The aliens increased their patrols. They put more guards on duty, used more sensors and more lights. But nothing worked. The humans were always one step ahead. When the aliens went left, the humans went right. When the aliens set traps, the humans avoided them. When the aliens tried to follow human tracks, the tracks led to empty places. It is like they can read our minds, one alien soldier said. They can, Dr. Quinn said. Not really. But they can read our behavior. They know how we think. They know what we will do. Before we do it, Admiral Corax arrived from the fleet with more soldiers and better weapons. He was angry that a simple planet was causing so much trouble. I want this resistance crushed, he told Velth. Use whatever force you need. We are trying, Admiral. But they are very hard to catch. They are primitives with simple weapons. Hard can it be? That night, Admiral Corax got his answer. The humans attacked the base directly for the first time. But they did not attack with weapons. They attacked with the planet itself. The storm season was starting. The humans knew this. The aliens did not. The winds came first, then the rain, then the lightning. The alien base had been built to military standards, but not to Hanbit standards. The storm hit the base like a giant hammer. While the aliens fought the storm, the humans moved through it like it was a gentle breeze. They had lived with these storms their whole lives. They knew how to use them. The aliens' communication equipment failed. Their sensors went dark. Their weapons stopped working. They were blind and deaf in the storm. The humans rescued their people who had been captured. They took more equipment. They left messages for the aliens to find later. Messages that said, "Go home. This is not your world." When the storm ended, Admiral Corax looked at the damage. His base was broken. His soldiers were tired and scared. His equipment was full of dust and water. How many humans did we capture? He asked. None, Admiral. How many did we kill? None, Admiral. How many of our people did they kill? None, Admiral. But 12 are injured, and 6 are missing. Admiral Corax stared at the reports. An entire military base attacked by primitives with simple weapons, and the primitives had won without killing anyone. What kind of species are we fighting? A scad, Dr. Quinn looked at him with frightened eyes. It's the kind that evolved to survive anything. It's the kind that turns every challenge into a strength. The kind that never gives up. And the kind that is just getting started, she added quietly. In the tunnels under New Busan, Minji was planning the next phase of the resistance. The aliens had not learned their lesson yet, but they would. The hunt was just beginning. The message came from space on a frequency the aliens thought was secret. Yurahan smiled as she recorded every word. The aliens were calling for more help. Much more help. They want to bring their entire regional fleet, she told Minji. 50 ships. Thousands of soldiers. Mingy looked at the star charts on her table. Red marks showed where alien ships were gathering. Soon, the sky would be full of them. Good, she said. Let them come. Good. Yura stared at her. Minji, 50. Ships could destroy our entire planet. Minji agreed, but they won't. They want our resources. They want our planet intact. And now they are angry. Angry enemies make even bigger mistakes. 3 days later, more alien ships began landing. Not just near New Busan, but everywhere. The aliens were taking over the whole planet this time. They thought that with enough soldiers, they could control every human settlement. But something else was happening. Something the aliens had not expected. The human settlements were talking to each other. Not just with radios, but with old signals. Smoke fires on hilltops. Light flashes from mirrors. Messages carried by people who knew how to move unseen across the dangerous landscape. The aliens had invaded one small settlement, but they had awakened an entire world. Daeho Kim spoke into his radio using a code the aliens had not broken. All settlements, this is New Busan. Phase 2 begins now. Across Hanbit, humans began to move, not running away. Moving into position, Counselor Zeth arrived on the largest alien ship. It was very important in the hegemony, and he was very angry. He called Admiral Korax to a meeting. This is embarrassing, Zeth said. One primitive planet is making us look weak. Other worlds are starting to ask questions. Some are starting to think they can resist us too. We will handle this, Korax promised. With 50 ships, we can control everything. You had better. The Council is watching. If you fail here, you will be replaced. But the aliens were already failing. They did not know it yet. Junho Kwan was captured while scouting near the main alien base. He was a young man, only 22, but he had grown up on Hanbit. The aliens thought they could break him and learn human secrets. They were wrong about that too. Captain Rona was in charge of questioning. Junho, she was supposed to be good at getting information from prisoners. She used machines that could read thoughts and emotions. She used drugs that were supposed to make people tell the truth. But Junho just looked at her with calm eyes and said nothing useful. Where are your weapon factories, she asked. We make our weapons in our homes, Junho said. Everyone knows how. Where? Do your leaders meet? Everywhere. We are all leaders when we need to be. How many fighters do you have? All of us. Even the children know how to hide and watch. Captain Rona realized that Junho was not lying. There was no secret base to find. No master plan to steal. Humans were not organized like an army. They were organized like a family. Everyone protected everyone else. But while Captain Rona was questioning Junho was watching her. He noticed that the aliens got tired easily in Hanbit's thin air. Saw that their equipment needed constant repairs because of the dust. He learned which aliens were scared and which ones were confident. When Junho escaped 3 days later, he took all of that information with him. How did he get out? Korax demanded. We don't know, Captain Rona said. The cell was locked. Guards were at their posts, but somehow he just ... left. What they did not know was that Temin Park had been working for days to understand alien security systems. He had built a device that could unlock their doors without making any sound, or leaving any trace. But the biggest shock came when Sunmi Bei stole an alien ship. Sunmi was a pilot who had worked on cargo ships before coming to Hanbit. She knew how to fly, but she had never seen alien technology before. It took her 2 weeks of watching and learning before she was ready. She did not steal a big ship, just a small scout craft that the aliens used for patrols. But it was enough. Sunmi flew the ship off Hanbit and into space. The alien fleet tried to stop her, but she was already gone. She jumped to hyperspace using the ship's own navigation system. Where is she going? Dr. Quinn asked. To warn the other human colonies? Admiral Korax said with growing horror. She is going to tell them. What happened here? This was the aliens' worst fear. If other humans learned about the invasion, they might prepare. They might resist. The easy conquest of human space would become a long, hard war, but the immediate problem was still on hand. The planet-wide resistance was growing stronger every day. The aliens controlled the sky and the main roads, but humans controlled everything else. The forests, the mountains, the underground tunnels, the dangerous places where aliens could not safely go. Human attacks became more bold. They hit alien convoys in the Badlands, where rockworms lived in the sand. They sabotaged alien equipment during dust storms when sensors could not see them. They used the planet's own dangerous wildlife as weapons. Dr. Kong was a scientist. From the Southridge settlement? She had studied alien biology for weeks, and she made an important discovery. The aliens were not used to high-gravity worlds. Handbutt's gravity was only a little higher than Earth's normal, but it was much higher than the alien homeworlds. This meant the aliens got tired faster. Their reflexes were slower. Their armor was heavier than it should be. Every day on Handbit made them weaker while the humans stayed strong. "We need to end this quickly," Dr. Quinn told Admiral Corax. "The longer we stay here, the more advantages they gain." "We have 50 ships," Corax said. "We can destroy their cities from orbit. And then what? Rule over empty ruins? Council wants this planet productive, not dead." But the aliens were running out of options. Every day brought new problems. Human sabotage, equipment failures, soldiers getting sick from the environment, and the growing fear that maybe, just maybe, had chosen the wrong enemy. The final straw came when the humans attacked the main alien base again. But this time, they did not attack with storm or stealth. They attacked with the most dangerous creatures on Handbit. The Night Stalkers were huge black creatures that hunted in packs. They were smart, fast, and almost impossible to kill. The humans had learned to avoid them by staying away from their territory. But Mingy had a different idea. Instead of avoiding the Night Stalkers, she led them to the alien base. She did this by using alien equipment that made high-pitched sounds that drove the Night Stalkers crazy with anger. The creatures followed the sounds straight to the base, where hundreds of aliens waited with bright lights and loud weapons. The Night Stalkers attacked. The aliens fought back, but their weapons just made more noise and more light. This attracted more Night Stalkers. Soon, the entire alien base was under attack by dozens of the huge creatures. The aliens finally drove off the Night Stalkers, but not before losing more equipment and having many soldiers injured. And everyone knew that the humans had made it happen. "They turned the planet's apex predators against us," Dr. Quinn said in amazement. "They weaponized the ecosystem itself." Admiral Corax looked at the damage reports and the casualty lists. Then he looked at the communication from space. More human ships were coming. The stolen alien ship had reached human space, and now the entire human colonial fleet was heading for Handbit. "What do we do now?" Captain Rona asked. Corax did not answer. For the first time in his military career, he honestly did not know. In the tunnels under New Busan, Minji was preparing for the final battle. The aliens had more ships and more weapons. But the humans had something better. They had home field advantage. And they were about to show the galaxy what that really meant. The human ships arrived like a storm from space. Admiral Sarah Chen led the Colonial Defense Force fleet. 30 ships that looked small and rough compared to the sleek alien vessels. But looks could be deceiving. Admiral Corax watched the human ships on his screens and felt confident again. Finally, a real battle. Ship against ship. Technology against technology. This is what we know how to do. He was wrong about that too. The space battle began at dawn. The alien ships fired first. Their energy weapons lighting up the sky like artificial stars. The human ships scattered instead of fighting in formation. To alien eyes, it looked like panic. It was not panic. It was strategy. Human ships were built differently than alien ships. Alien vessels were designed to be perfect with every system, working in harmony. Human ships were designed to be broken and keep fighting anyway. Every critical system had backups. Every backup had backups. When alien weapons hit human ships, the humans did not die cleanly. They bled and sparked and kept fighting with half their systems dead. When human weapons hit alien ships, they found weak points that should not have existed. How are they targeting our shield generators so precisely? An alien officer asked. Because Sunmi Bay studied our ships for 2 weeks, Admiral Chen said over the communication channel. She knows every weakness you have. The alien fleet had superior firepower, but the humans had something else. They had been preparing for this fight their entire lives. Even when they did not know it, every human pilot had grown up on worlds that tried to kill them. They knew how to think fast when everything went wrong. They knew how to work together without perfect communication. They knew how to win when winning should be impossible. But the real shock came when the ground battle started. Admiral Korax decided to land his entire army on Hanbit, 50,000 soldiers in powered armor, with energy weapons and flying vehicles. Enough force to crush any resistance. We will end this once and for all, he announced. Every human settlement will surrender or be destroyed. The aliens landed in perfect formation across the planet. They had overwhelming numbers and superior technology. Victory should have been certain. Instead, they found hell. The humans had spent months preparing Hanbit for this moment. Every settlement was now a fortress. Every road was a trap. Every piece of ground was either an ambush site or a killing field. But more importantly, the humans were no longer hiding. They were done being prey. It was time to be predators. Commander Velth led the assault on New Busan. He expected to find the same small settlement he had first encountered. Instead, he found something that made his blood run cold. The humans were not running. They were not hiding. They were hunting. Minji Park stood in the center of town, wearing simple clothes and carrying an old rifle. Around her were 300 humans, armed with weapons they had built themselves from alien technology and local materials. Surrender now, Velth called through his translator. You are outnumbered 10-1. Numbers don't matter, Minji said calmly. This is our world. You are the prey here. The battle for New Busan lasted 6 hours. When it was over, half of Velth's force was captured or disabled. The humans had not killed anyone. They did not need to. They were so much better at fighting on Hanbit that killing was unnecessary. The aliens fought with advanced weapons and perfect training. The humans fought with the fury of a species that had evolved to survive anything. When alien soldiers advanced, they found themselves caught in rock slides that seemed natural but were perfectly timed. When they tried to use their flying vehicles, dust storms appeared from nowhere to blind their sensors. When they called for support, their communications were jammed by equipment they thought was primitive. All across the planet, the same story repeated. Alien forces landed with overwhelming advantage and found themselves helpless against an enemy that used the planet itself as a weapon. Dr. Kong transmitted a message to the entire galaxy while the battle raged. It was broadcast on every frequency, translated into every known language. People of the galaxy, she said, you are watching something that has never happened before. You are watching a prey species become predators. She showed images of human evolution, of early humans hunting, creatures 10 times their size, human settlements on worlds that would kill most other species in days. Humans did not evolve to be strong or fast or tough, she explained. They evolved to be adaptable, to be persistent, to never give up, to turn every challenge into a strength.
Ow.
Look at what they've built on this world. Not cities, but ecosystems. Not armies, but communities. They did not conquer this planet. They became part of it, and now the planet fights for them. The images showed alien soldiers being defeated not by superior weapons, but by superior knowledge. Humans who knew exactly when the storms would come, who knew which plants were poisonous and which were helpful, who knew how to move silently through terrain that crippled alien equipment. The galaxy has been ruled by species that conquered their worlds, Dr. Kong continued. But humans are different. They do not conquer. They adapt. They survive. They endure. And now they are coming to the stars. The final confrontation came when Commander Velth challenged Minji to single combat. His pride could not accept defeat by a primitive farmer. They met in the town center where this had all begun. Velth wore his powered armor and carried his energy weapons. Mingy wore her work clothes and carried her grandfather's hunting knife. "You cannot win," Velth said. "My armor makes me stronger and faster than any human." "Your armor makes you dependent," Mingy replied. "When it fails, you have nothing. When I fail, I adapt." The fight lasted 30 seconds. Velth's armor was designed to fight other aliens with energy weapons and predictable tactics. It was not designed to fight a human who had spent her life hunting creatures that evolution had spent millions of years making perfect killers. Mingy moved like water around his attacks. She used his armor's weight against him. She found gaps that the designers never expected anyone to exploit. And when his systems finally failed, poisoned by Hanbet's corrosive dust, she was still standing. Velth lay on the ground, alive, but helpless, staring up at the human who had defeated him without breaking a sweat. "How?" he whispered. "'Cause this is what we are," Mingy said simply. "We are the species that survived when our world tried to kill us every day. We are the species that learned to hunt the hunters. We are apex predators, and you just entered our territory." Admiral Korax called for a retreat. The alien fleet left, Hanbut's orbit in defeat, carrying news that would change the galaxy forever. Ambassador Rhea of the Galactic Council arrived 3 days later under a flag of truce. She found Mingy back at her farm, tending her hydroponic plants as if nothing had happened. "The Council wishes to negotiate," Rhea said. "We understand now that humans are not what we thought they were." "What did you think we were?" Mingy asked, not looking up from her work. "Prey, and now we know the truth. You are apex predators. The galaxy will never be the same." Mingy finally looked up, her eyes holding the calm confidence of someone who had faced the worst the universe could offer and won. "We never wanted to rule the galaxy," she said. "We just wanted to be left alone to live our lives. But if you force us to come to the stars..." She smiled, and Rhea felt a chill that had nothing to do with Hanbut's climate. "Well, space is just another ecosystem to adapt to." The message went out across the galaxy that day. Humans were not prey. They were not victims. They were the predators that evolution created when a death world needed something strong enough to survive it, and they were coming to the stars. The age of human expansion had begun.